Free markets? I've got big news for you. There is no such thing as a free market. There's an incentive and its partner, subsidy, in all the fields of nature. Water, heavily subsidized. You don't pay the true cost. Who does? You do, but you don't price it in. So how to price nature? We have developed a partnership with the Nature Conservancy to build the very difficult computer models to price nature. To price the cost of a river, to price the cost of a forest. The preliminary work, and it's understated, has all of nature priced at market levels at $33 trillion, which seems low. But imagine if a business was to site something on a river and was pricing in its green infrastructure. It would start to think differently about where it would locate its factory, or its business, or its plant. Why is this all relevant? I think I said about half a dozen things at the front end of why it's relevant. We're not pricing for scarcity, we're pricing for abundancy. Yet everything is scarce. And I'm a chemical engineer. There are 118 elements on the periodic table of chemistry. We all know this, right? You all know that. 118 elements. Humankind uses 12 of them in abundancy and ignores the rest. Which brings me to solution space, and I'm going to talk about that. One investment we did on a river using these modern tools, instead of spending $1 billion on a water treatment plant to treat the water from the river that was contaminated, we absolutely went upstream, cleaned the source by putting in more trees and stopping the nutrients and the fertilizers going into the river in the first place by moving the farm. And instead of spending $1 billion, we spent $30 million. Just to our company alone, by tracing nature, that one decision saved us $970 million. Green infrastructure. Get used to the term. Green belt, that's separation. Green infrastructure is pricing and valuing nature. The Nature Conservancy and us will launch this tool next year sometime and make it available to humanity for free. We're going to put all the money in to develop this using supercomputing and make it available on the cloud. So, let's go forward and figure out how this all comes down to solving these challenges I talked about. There are huge challenges that have to come with solution space that the human intellect and innovation and science marries against the challenges that I just talked about that make sense to businesses like mine. Energy and carbon intensity is one, and I could spend a lot of time talking about this new invention we've come up with to make solar affordable to the masses. It's called the solar shingle. $5 billion market opportunity to put a shingle on the roof of a house instead of a panel. Launched in Colorado, Nevada, and California as we speak. It's a third of the cost of the panel, just 20% more cost of the roof, payback of 2.5 years, and if you are a family of 4 living in a normal-sized house, you actually can export power to the grid. Something called the net zero home will become available to America in the next 5 years. This was a concept that was launched just 4 years ago in our labs. And working with Argonne National Labs and the Lawrence Livermore Labs, a partnership was created to create a product to create an alternative energy source and save carbon being emitted in the first place. Why I use that example? Not just to boast about DOW, but to boast something else I'm very passionate about, something that I hope I can convince you in the next 5 or 10 minutes to adopt. If you don't, read the book. Make it in America. Now I'm talking to an audience that comes from a lot of people who've made it in America, who really came here with nothing and made it in America. The title was used very specifically to reawaken the American populace to something we've lost track of. See, too often the talk shows have talked about offshoring and outsourcing based on labor cost. Too often they've said we've lost our manufacturing sector because we're not destined to have one. That our manufacturing sector, low labor cost, was yesterday's smokestack industry. That should go to the developing countries, the Chinas, and da-da-da. Too often, we've destined manufacturing to productivity. Between 1990 and the year 2000, 3.7% annual growth in productivity meant we lost 5.5 million in manufacturing jobs. From 29% of the economy, it went to 18%. Between 2000 and 2010, we lost another 5.5 million manufacturing jobs. Productivity grew at the same percentage rate. At that period of time, we went down to 11% of the economy. So we blamed it on productivity. It ain't productivity. The first 10 years might have been textiles, might have been steel, might have been the industrial sector that applied, footwear. The next 10 years, where's the iPad made? Where's the Kindle made? Where are solar panels made? Where are wind turbines made? Where are all these high-tech devices you're using every day being made? Not here. Where are they invented? Here. Where will they be invented? There. Why? Because they know what to do. They've got a planned economy. They are coming at us like no tomorrow. I'm a big fan of China's. I think China is the most impressive country on the planet right now. They get it. They get it because they have a 9-person board of directors. Best board of directors on the planet. Amazing succession process. Great selectivity. They don't have freedom. So that's eventually going to catch them. But you know what? They know that too. So what are they doing? They're building a manufacturing sector. But not smokestacks. Chip plants, semiconductors. They're building iPads. They're building... Wen Jiabao, in a meeting I had with him not too long ago, with 8 other CEOs, said to the head of Intel, he said, I've got your business, but he pointed over to the head of Google, and he pointed over to the head of Facebook, and he pointed over to the head of the semiconductor company, what's the advanced marketing devices. You're the guys who are going to give me your business, but you don't understand yet how important my market is to you. And then he pointed to the guy, the Steve Jobs, he wasn't there, Steve Jobs is number 2, the guy, Tim Cook, who runs it now, and said, I'm making all your stuff, but you take 90% of the value. I do 90% of the work, I only get 10% of the value. That can't be sustained. Wake up. Manufacturing of the high-tech kind is moving to where the intellect is. Universities are being built around technology and manufacturing that we invent here. The number of patents in China is already on a run rate basis double the United States. My lab alone. I opened up a lab 5 years ago. I had to, no choice. To do business in China, I need my lab. I'll have my lab, I'll lose my technology. I know that. So I have to run faster than the truck that's coming up behind me. Otherwise I'll be run over. But that lab, double the productivity of any other lab I have on patents already produced. So they are smart, they are directed, they know what we did to be successful, and they want manufacturing. They want manufacturing, and they want the high-tech manufacturing. And guess what? What I just said about China, it's the best. Singapore, Korea, Taiwan, Brazil, Russia, Germany, any country out there, Thailand, Malaysia, let me keep going, Colombia, is doing exactly this. They want America's design, creativity, and factory jobs because they go together. They want America's dream. They want America's wealth. And eventually they will have to live with the outcome called America's freedom. But between now and then, we will lose jobs. The financial services sector, well, we saw how much jobs they can create. The service sector alone, every job in manufacturing creates 8 jobs in the service sector. Every job in the service sector creates 1 job in the service sector. It's very stark, the case for manufacturing. Here's the other issue. We're shooting ourselves in the collective foot. The National Association of Manufacturers did a survey on the cost of manufacturing in the United States. Outside of labor cost, move labor cost to one side, we have 18% more structural cost through a combination of bad regulations, bad tax policy, healthcare issues, as well as bad industrial relation policies. We're costing ourselves out of business, not counting labor. So, companies like mine are trying to do something about it. We believe in making it in America. We have a factory base here that's worth $25 billion, and we're not going to leave it lightly. Besides, I really do believe that the American model of the Winston Churchill quote, we eventually do the right thing when we run out of all other options, will eventually stop. This is an amazing, resilient model. It's an agile, flexible model. It's full of smart people going to great schools, best in the world. Between freedom, the love of enterprise, the love of entrepreneurship, many of them in the room, I would tell you that America has the talent and the resiliency to overcome these very big tectonic shifts. But here's the other deal. businesses have to be a partner in so doing it. So how I started my talk is how I'm going to end it. The paradigm of business has changed. The golden triangle is now in effect. Not the one off the shore here, but the one that says business, government, and society. And companies like mine have to operate in the middle of that triangle. We have to be active in setting a public policy for the greater good. The greater good doesn't mean the greater financial good. It means the greater good. NGOs and companies have to partner, like I've explained. Society and companies have to understand each other. We have to team up and create public-private partnerships like never before. It means we need government to be a partner in doing so. And I make that statement not as a Democrat or a Republican. I make it as an Australian citizen that can't vote. I make it as someone that cares about not red, not blue, but purple. The country. Because the country has given us so much. It deserves something back. And what it deserves back is to not fight each other, but to actually build a consensus based on a principle of government that has a partnership model. Not no government or too much government. That's the wrong debate. But smart and efficient government. Government that enjoins business and society to take in their opinions in a collaborative way. After all, isn't that what democracy was supposed to do? And yet we have gone to a place that creates adversarial models. And you know, I can't leave that topic without talking about Europe and our motherland, Greece. How do we make collaboration happen in the old country? Should we lend our intellect to it? Should we vest our passion and our emotion? I often say to our people when I give town halls, you know, I might be able to keep you a DOW because of your wallet. I might be able to keep you a DOW because I'll stimulate your brain. But I know you will stay at DOW if your heart is with us. I know that you will stay at this company because you love to be here. How much do we love Greece? What is our collective response? Should we allow others to define it? I'm doing whatever I can. You know what, at the end of the day, it's what we heard today from His Eminence. We need to understand our faith. We need to understand our values. We need to understand that our position on this planet is God-given, that there's a greater mission, and the mission of the heart should prevail. And as Archbishop Yakabos said in his remarks upon retirement, we will find critics, even opponents, even enemies, even faults and errors in our own thinking. And the way we understand the immensity of our task is going to be criticized. But nothing should ever discourage us or turn us into deserters on the new front. I think powerful words. Resonate with me, resonate hopefully with you. Certainly, I'm a very privileged human being to have the faith, the parents, the partnerships, and the friends like you in the room. Thanks for listening to me, and I am willing to take some questions.